Hello there, rootin' tootin' raspberries or other non-raspberry, non-rootin' or non-tootin' people. I'm just doing a little preview of my show here coming up. Truth Telling Volume 8, featuring sit down stand up and smoking, choking, spoken prose as only I can deliver. uh, Come stave off the winter blues or embrace them. I might just paint myself blue and you all to my naked smurfing truth. I guess you'll have to come see to find out. $10 in person or transferred to nightowls@gmail.com. I'm going to do a little preview of you for the show, preview for you of the show, not of you. I hope you'll be previewing yourself for me coming to my show. Am I convincing you with all this double talk? I don't know. But one thing that's always struck me kind of funny, uh, quite alarming actually, is you ever see those ads for like certain medications where the side effects of the medication are way worse than the thing you actually have? I've seen this at least twice for antidepressants, right? Warning may cause suicidal feelings. Really? Like, oh man, before this pill, I was just profoundly unhappy, but now I want to kill myself, man. I should stop taking this pill and go back to my old coping mechanisms of too much ice cream, tequila, and loads of unhealthy relationships before it's too late. Man, these antidepressants could kill me. Uh, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Carly Simon song. You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. Yeah, um, this may well have been said before, but I'll have more to say about it than that. I don't care how supposedly vain that person was. I don't care how vain they were. They were right. The song was about them. So if I was that person accused of being so vain, I would wrote a counter song to Carly. Go a little something like this. You're obsessed. You probably should forget about me. But you can't. See how many times I can get away with repeating myself. That'll eat up 45 minutes pretty quick now, won't it? I'm going to read you one of my poems. There are three others like this. They're all long form. This is one of the longer ones, I think. Um, and this poem is a little bit of speculation about afterlife, and it's more um, about the speculation as to whether there is or whether there isn't, and what that would look like on both sides. As odd as that may seem, as opposed to a in-depth analysis of the particularities of what the afterlife might look like. So again, more about whether there is or isn't, and what that might be like. The poem is called simply After Death. Perhaps the greatest mystery in all of life is what happens when it's over. In our time in the Western world, I suspect most would be emphatic that nothing happens at all. If we live forever, why aren't our departed loved ones constantly communicating with us? Many others would be just as emphatic that they are indeed communicating with us. It's just we haven't the capacity to hear them. My own take is that it's unfair to expect spirits to have voice boxes, and if they had them, mental hospitals would be overrun with everyone who misses their friends. So it may be best for our collective health that the non believers win the day when it comes to definitive proof about what happens after breathing. Let's assume for a stanza the non believers are right. Aside from no one being able to congratulate them, their victory is not to be feared. You may be curious about life before you were born. Perhaps you idealize the past and wish you had lived in some previous golden age. But your nostalgic yearning for days before you is only a wishful dream. You cannot remember terrible experiences you never had, and you can't long for happy times you never lived. Non existence is inconceivable from our vantage point, and even more inconceivable from its own vantage point. I think most of us would choose to be. Even the majority of suicides who cannot bear the misery of this life might be willing to try one where their experiences weren't so terribly painful. But there is no pain at all if we cease to be, and no possibility to miss the best times we've known. The worst possibility for non believers is to have lived badly, to have had irredeemable regrets, and to have missed out on things from fear, indecision, or procrastination. I miss out on life because of health. That is different. I am doing pretty close to the best that I can. So to the atheist, I say, give it all you've got. Don't do anything so horrible that you can't take it back, and leave nothing important undone. Important undone too, uh, because this is all there is, and the time to do it is terribly short. For the believer in life after death, I don't think our lives on earth are quite as crucial, unless the way we've lived brings inescapable damnation. Non existence is preferable to an eternity of torture and torment, or those awful hell loops I've heard about where the sinner must live their worst day over forever, like poor good Prometheus, who made the fatal mistake of teaching mankind how to use fire. But even poor Prometheus had Hercules save him. My fondest hope is that even if I have done things judged to be terrible, they can be forgiven eventually. Accepting the threat of damnation, life on earth might not be quite as important to a believer because, after death, there is still time to learn and love, to repent and forgive, and we can do so as our true selves, without the limitations of our bodies. My spirit does not have cerebral palsy and an untreatable urinary disorder. It is limitless, perfectly me, lacking nothing and surrounded by love, indestructible and forever. That is not to say our time on earth is meaningless. I'm not sure we can learn as much in our perfect eternal states. Lessons might be best received in an ever changing environment. I heard a beautiful statement just the other day when I wasn't feeling well at all. If there are no wounds, then there is no entry point for the light to get in. Some go as far to say, as our souls agreed to this life beforehand, eager for the lessons, however painful they may learn. I have long believed that this is a process where no one could get it quite so right or so wrong to end up in heaven or hell after just one go. I think we do the mortal thing until we've learned all it can teach us. If you have been so fortunate as to get the feeling that there may be more than here, I'd ask you to live as though there were. Try your best to bring the things to earth you believe would be in heaven. If you have no sense of life after here, I think that's perfectly fine. I'd ask only that you follow your conscience and try to do what you believe is right. I feel that is a great deal less dangerous than to be swept up in a religious fanaticism where you're too brainwashed to get to know your conscience at all. And still, even if this one life is part of a larger, maybe infinite process, the clock is ticking on what you can do here on Earth during this point in history. I would be less worried about making a mistake than leaving something important undone. Write that down. There is a reason you are here now, so do your best to figure it out and fulfill your destiny. You don't want to be wondering what if while you're dying. I worry a great deal. Will I have time to complete my goals and to stave off discouragement enough to properly fulfill them? And when it's over, will I have been good enough to avoid damnation? Be granted the blessed reunion with everyone I've lost? So, I guess I better try to be someone I can live with. One small solace. If the non believers are right, no one will be around to tell me how wrong I am. And if I am right, they can congratulate me, and I can congratulate them as we all enjoy the world without suffering together. I hope you've enjoyed that. The show itself will be probably about 50 some minutes, just short, shy of an hour. Hope to see you. Hope you come. Um, if I didn't send you an invite, send me a PM on Facebook for the location. And otherwise, check your event invites for location. And nobody can tell the truth as stammering as me. So come watch me stutter, and I hope we'll have a great time doing it. Okay, ciao for now.